We are live. Sweet. 4:29, and I'm early. All right, guys. What's up? Welcome. Eric Ninotowski here. I know it's a long name. You'll get used to it. Yeah, man. I don't know if you caught my tweet from earlier, but I could not sleep last night. I was up just thinking the gears were turning and just how I wanted to share my creation with you guys. So, greetings, ComicsGate community. I bring you today the introduction to Shadow Sentry, the newest addition to ComicsGate. Unfortunately, it won't hit Indiegogo till next year because I'm working on a project. But in the meantime, I am going to hopefully get you guys really excited for it. So I am going to take you through my Patreon page because I launched that about a year ago, actually. And so I'm going to do a screen share for you, take you through that, and kind of give you the pitch that I had and the little dossier that I created for the characters and stuff. And so I'll show you that. You can shoot me your messages or questions. I'd love to answer them for you. But while I'm doing the screen share, I won't be able to see it. So bear with me. After I'm done, I'll go through and answer any questions that I might have missed while I was doing that. But yeah, I'm super excited. I hope you guys are too. All right, so let's get to it. I'm going to do a screen share right here. And hey, where'd it go? Bear with me. It's not showing me the stuff it was before. That's lame. All my icons to the left are missing. Do not like this. All right, bear with me. I will make it happen. Stop broadcast live. Links. Oh, links. There they are. Got it. So it is links. All right, for next time. Okay, here we go. Share. Boom. And we're going to go to here and here. Bada boom. All right, so welcome to my website, ericninotowskiart.com. Wanted to stop here because I have my link to Patreon, as well as Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, blah, 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 blah. You name it. I got it all here. You can sign up for my RSS feed. Got my YouTube thing on there now. And then obviously Patreon. Redbubble's on there. If you see the icons to the left, I do have some t-shirts and stuff up on Redbubble. I have like Ninja Turtles and Thundercats artwork on t-shirts. So if you're a fan of 80s cartoons like I am, you might want to stop by there. But anyway, check it out. The Meg. If you don't know, I haven't heard Mike talk about it much, but me and Mike worked on the Meg comic adaptation from the novel. And so, here, let me show you that real quick. I did the background inks for Mike. It was a really tight deadline. It was like 6 issues in 4 months. Originally, it was going to be 5. Then Mike wanted to do 6. So he thought that might work better. So yeah, I helped him out with all the background inks. Anything that wasn't a human or like a fish, he did the whales there. He did the face and the little boy, but everything else I did. So yeah, that'll be out. Let's see. I just talked to Les DeBell, and he said, I think the end of September, the graphic novel might be out. You can pre-order it right now on Amazon.com. Just search for Meg. I don't think it's the Meg. I think it's just Meg, M-E-G. But yeah, so I posted that on there. That's kind of cool. And the movie just came out, so that's kind of awesome. I did see it. It was cool. It was cool. Wasn't Jaws, like, you know, as good as Jaws, but it was still fun. Yeah, I see movies for entertainment, mostly. I do, you know, critique a few things here and there, but, you know, I don't get too crazy unless it's comic book movies. But anyway, all right, so let's go back to the home screen here. Bada boom. Okay, let's go to Patreon. Here we go. And again, sorry if you are watching, I can't see my my feed right here. No, I'm not gonna do that. I can't see any questions or comments, but I will get back to them as soon as I'm done. So I'm gonna click the image. Boom. Eric Ninotowski is creating, teaching, and making comics and art. So as I said, I launched this a year ago. This was even before I heard of ComicsGate or knew anything about ComicsGate, but you can kind of get an idea for where I was a year ago. I started this because a guy was interested in art lessons, and so I'm like, all right, well, let me use the Patreon format for getting stuff to him. I could do videos and post photos, post pictures, and then if other people want to get in on it, they can, and help me out by making comics and stuff. But let me read it real quick. First off, thanks for stopping by. This page is for fans who want an inside look at my art and be a part of the action that is the creating process. For aspiring artists who want a little more insight into drawing and creating, but also those who want to take their comic art to the next level. Blah, 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 blah. 10 years in the making. Lastly, what I'm most excited for. This page is for those who want to be a part of helping me not only make great comics, but making comics great again. Not that all comics are horrible, don't get me wrong. There are still a few I enjoy. But if you long for the days of 80s and 90s comics, the days of Image, the glory days of the X-Men, when things were simpler, when comics had a life to them that has long since dried up and disappeared into the abyss, if you long to read those types of comics again, then join me as I create comics like that. Bring back the awesome that was once comics, what made you fall in love with them in the first place. Comics that will inspire you again and inspire a new generation the way they once inspired you. So that's where I was at a year ago. And so I have one patron. Wanted to give a shout out to James, who's been with me since the beginning. Thank you, brother. I truly do appreciate it. But I wanted to keep this on here because I wanted to use it to show you, because you can scroll down and see some of the comics that I've worked on, for a long time, and wanted to create and bring to the crowd, the comics community. But here's Shadow Sentry. This is what I'm most excited about. But anyway, so here are a few things. War Gun was one comic I've created. Beowulf, I love the Beowulf story. It's a classic, and I'd love to illustrate that someday. But real quick, hold on, sorry. Okay, nothing there. So yeah, so I didn't want to erase my Patreon page yet because I wanted to share this with you. This was an easy way for me to do it. And but after this, and James, if you're watching, I'm going to cancel my Patreon page, and you could save your $10 a month and save up until next year, and you can throw all your support into Shadow Sentry if you want. So that would be awesome. But so here we go. Let's get to it. Shadow Sentry. Names mean a lot to me. I love good names. It has to have meaning. It has to mean something. And I love Tolkien. I love George Lucas in the Star Wars films. It's like every name is just like spectacular. It's awesome. Tatooine, Han Solo, Luke Skywalker. It's just like I want to know more about that character. And with Tolkien, it's like Lothlorien and Legolas, and you want to say those names. Strider. He's totally a comic book character guy. So with Shadow Sentry, what is it? What does it mean? If you're familiar with a shadow organization or a shadow government, it's something that works behind the scenes. It's always there. You just don't see it. It's working. It's operating. And then Sentry, obviously, you know what that is. They are the guard. They are the ones that are standing there. They're the watchers. And they're there, and you don't even know it. And they've been there for a long time. And so that's what the Shadow Sentry is. So let me work through this a little bit. I'll read a little bit. Shadow Sentry is an X-Men meets the Matrix type story. I love the X-Men. The X-Men is like probably when I got into comics in the 90s, X-Men is what I first found and first fell in love with. And then came Image. So that's when I came into comics. And so if I'm sure Image was, to me, was like awesome. Like took the cake. It was just amazing. I was buying every book every month, even though I didn't even read it. I was buying Spawn, didn't even read it. I ended up selling like 1 through 15 to a friend in high school for I don't even know what, and I never even read it. And then like years later, I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to go back and I want to read Spawn. So I ended up going buying them again, and I was like, well, I kind of like McFarlane's artwork, and I dig the story. So I was like eating it up, man. I loved it. So I got into comics then in the 90s, as I'm sure hopefully a lot of you did too, or at least you were excited about it. So anyway, love the X-Men. Sure you're familiar with the Matrix story, the movies. So this is kind of like an amalgam of those two things. So a superhero team type comic. So it's going to be like an X-Men book. It's going to be a team book. I don't know how many ComicsGate books out there are like team books. I know there's Jawbreakers, and then there's the newer one. Gosh, what's it called? Is it the Graveyard Shift or something? That kind of looks like a team book as well. I'm not quite sure, but anyway, this will be definitely a team book that you can get into and get behind if you like that kind of stuff. And even if you don't, you can still get behind it. Um, Here's the premise. What if you had a near-death experience, but when you returned from the other side, you brought a piece of eternity with you, a part of the unseen, the supernatural, and you woke to find you had supernatural powers and were able to break the laws that govern the world around you. I wish I had Edwin Boyette on here. He could read this and just like crush it, bring it home. But anyway, for now, you will have to deal with me. I'm sorry. So, not only those who had gone to the farthest heights were coming back with supernatural powers, but the farthest depths as well. In this story, we dive into the midst of a war. Hell is amassing an army on Earth and beginning a new battle. Fought not with demons, but humans. In the few centuries since this battle has been waging, legend and lore have correctly recorded the darkness's dealings on Earth. Vampires, immortals who love blood. Frankenstein, a man brought back from the dead with unnatural strength. Boom. That's it right there. That's Shadow Sentry. Werewolves and ghouls, freakish creatures from the outside, for the other side, and witches whose knowledge of the dark arts gives them the powers over the elements and more. So what I like about this is it kind of, it can go back, centuries. It can, we can relate to it because we've all heard of Frankenstein. We've all heard of vampires. And this story lends to, well, maybe there were, and this is why. So now, heaven is choosing its own warriors as well. Powers are bestowed, meant for good in fighting the dark ones. These warriors who have been chosen to be guardians of the light have formed a shadow organization, a secret institution whose purpose is to protect the innocent and to stop the spread of the Legion of the Dark on the earth. They are the Watchers, Knights of the Way, the Guardians, and Guardians of the Light. They are the Shadow Sentry. I should say it like this.
They are the Shadow Sentry.
Oh, yeah. All right. So let me get to the artwork. You don't want to hear me talk and ramble too much and read stuff that's boring. So here we go. This is the dossier I created back on 4/17/14. It was when it was declassified. This is when I shared this with Omar Spahey when I was at working with him on Monomyth, which is a 3-issue series I did with them. And I pitched it to him, and he didn't, he shot it down, which is cool. It's all right. I'd rather do it myself anyway, man. It's all good. So here we go. Brazen. Talked about names earlier. Brazen. It's got to be a good name, right? Brazen. Dathan Shaw, alias Brazen, a.k.a. Dathan the Brazen. So he is the leader of the group, actually second in command. Above him would be Noble, who I will get to. But he has superhuman strength, agility, and fighting skill. He has a sword, which another character, Midst, gives to him. And it's kind of like a mysterious origin, but it's cool. And you will find out more about it in the story. But he's the sword-wielding dude. And I admit, I'm not like a big fan of sword-wielding superheroes. There's not many in comics. Well, when it comes to, there's samurais and stuff and like more the ninja guys. He's like a good cross between that and, what's his name? Gosh. He was in the Avengers for a little bit and he had the sword. Oh, man. Help me out here. Anyway, I'm not going to remember. But, I never really loved those kind of characters. But I'm going to make a cool sword-wielding character. That's my goal. All right? Ganon. This guy is my favorite. Wesley, or Wes Harrison, alias Ganon. He's like a punker, man. He's got guns. Boom. What more do you need? He makes his own weapons. He's of a military background. Other identifiables, strange love of punk, clothing. So that's going to be a big thing for him. He's like kind of like the rebel of the group. He has not been to the other side. So, he doesn't have that huge connection as some of the other characters might have to the group. So let me see who's next. So here's Noble. Noble is in command. He knows Wes knows Noble from their military days, and so that's how he kind of got to join the team. But again, he's not well. You know what I'm trying to say. You'll get his attitude. But Noble here, he is the leader. His name is Michael. Still working on last name. It's all good. But Michael is a good, strong name, and that's what Noble is. He is the anchor for the team. He's the leader. He's strong, um, uh, impenetrable. Like you can't really hurt him. And he has some guns too. So boom, there you go. I'll have some more design on him later. I knew what I want his face to look like and stuff, but the other stuff I have to flesh out still. Next, we got Cogent, Dyron Washington. Cogent, he controls momentum and kinetic energy. So he is the big dude of the team. And all right, backstory, check it out. So I used to work at a restaurant in downtown San Diego. I was a busser server for like 5 years. But one night, I'm leaving the restaurant, and in the lobby is this huge, hulking, massive dude. He's this black guy. I mean, he was like twice of me. I'm 5'9". This guy was like enormous. I mean, I've never seen a guy like this in my life. So he had to be a football player because I mean his shoulders were just like huge, and then to top it all off, he's wearing like this trench coat, and I mean it was like a roadblock. Like you had to take like 20 steps around him. It's like, oh my goodness. And I was mesmerized. Like being a comic book fan, I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm meeting a comic book guy for real in real life. I can't believe this. So I took a picture of him. I'd have to find that thing, man. But it was just amazing. So after seeing that guy, I came up with Cogent, and the story itself, a lot of it takes place in Philadelphia. I kind of grew up a little bit in Philadelphia. I'm from New Jersey originally, but a lot of my early years took place in Philadelphia, and I'll tell you about that some other time. But I'm a huge fan of the Eagles, and they won last year. Go Eagles! And so I'm like, all right, well, this guy had to be a football player. So he played a season on the Eagles farm team. And I could hear some people now like, oh no, don't bring the NFL into it. But I was thinking about it earlier. I'm like, here's the NFL, all right, and here's ComicsGate. So check out this correlation here, okay? You have the NFL. Okay, no, you have football. Football is pure. It's a game. There's nothing. I mean, it's like amoral, right? It's not right. It's not wrong. It's just it's a thing. It's like a comic. It's a medium. It's a game. It's a thing. And then you have the NFL, the top dogs, and then you got some players who would be like the creators in the comic book industry, and they are bringing in politics that people for the most part don't agree with, and so they've kind of just tainted and destroyed the image that is football. But football itself is I mean, I love football. Football is a game. Like, so I'm not gonna, just like comics, I'm not gonna like throw out every comic I ever had, like, because of what's going on. I still love comics. So I don't hate the medium. I hate what the creators and the head honchos at Marvel and DC are doing to this medium that I love. So, but anyway, so getting back to the NFL and this whole thing that's going on, it has a correlation to what's going on with the SJWs and everything in comics. So anyway, hope you enjoy that rant. So that's Cogent. He controls momentum. And as I said, with the Shadow Sentry, the concept is these guys go to heaven or hell, and they bring back these powers with them that that enable them to break the laws that govern us. All right. So here we have Deke, or Derek Hawk. He is a super flyer. He flies really fast. So not only is he able to break the law of gravity, okay, if he could just break the law of gravity, then he would just float. Okay, so there's got to be something else that he's able to do, which is he's able to propel himself. He's able to control momentum. He's able to give himself this propulsion, this momentum while he's floating. So there you go. I just want to throw that out there because, you know, if you ever really thought about it. But anyway, so that is the gist of the good guys. So we got a brief review here. Brazen, boom, Ganon, Noble. I really like that picture down there in the bottom left. Noble, Cogent, and Deke. And then we got the bad guys. And some of these designs may change just a little bit. They're 99% there. If someone's not pictured, you know, I probably have a little bit more work to do on them. But I am really excited even about the bad guys. The one main bad guy that will be in the first story arc is not pictured here. His name is Vengeant, but just want to throw that out there. These guys are the Legion of the Dark. They're the Hellborn. So they're the ones that have gone to the depths and come back with these supernatural powers. The good guys, they are the Highborn. So just want to throw that out there. I might use those terms, and you know what I'm talking about. Excuse me. So on the right side, we got Torture. It's kind of a play on words. Torture. He's got like torches for his fingers. I don't know. I thought that would be cool. And he's got these like bionic legs that enable him to jump. And we got Ember in the middle. Don't need to say much about him. Hopscotch. She is the teleporter of the team. She is able to draw or use her hand to create portals, which she gets her team around wherever they need to go. And also, there is a teleporter on the good guys team too. His name is Midst, and I did reference him earlier when that's where Brazen got his sword. Midst helped in that endeavor, which is a backstory I will get to someday. So Midst is not pictured, but he's a cool character as well. So this is a few of the people from the bad team. There's another really major bad guy that I don't have pictured here, but I'm still working on his look. I really want to nail it because he's like, you know, he's like one of the guys that's going to be around for like ever. Okay. Now, so action request. This is the dossier, and here is the this is the government team that is in charge of hunting down these I don't want to call them superpowered beings. That's been done. They are extra intelligent people. They're not extraterrestrial. They're not, you know, from, you know, whatever. They're extra intelligent. They're still humans, but they have these abilities. So they label them as extra intelligence, emphasis on the X. So that's where we get the exide hunters here. Operation exide hunters. There's going to be a team that will be tasked with hunting down, and you know, they could take out these guys because as you'll see in the story, you know, they are the Shadow Sentry. They're working in the background. They're like the guard, but they're going to be out and about, and pretty soon people are going to be seeing them more. And as they're fighting the Legion of the Dark, you know, it's going to be up in people's faces, and then it's like, okay, well, we need to do something about it, and then enter into the exide hunters, and they'll be like they'll come in more so at the end of the first story arc, and that will lead into the second when I do get there. The team leader, Barrage, has a little history with Noble. We can get into that later. Other operatives, Deacon, he's down here below on the left. He's like a samurai, just kick butt dude, doesn't lose a fight, but he's cool. I like his outfit, which you can kind of get an idea there. But his outfit, I've kind of done a little more to it, and I will share that eventually. We got Wildfire, a gun-wielding dude. Agent Orange down here. Gosh, I drew that so long ago, but it kind of stuck with me. He's got a mohawk that's orange and has some cool guns. He's kind of like the tech guy of the team. And then we have Brink, considered to be unstable. So that is that. And again, this is about a year old. Plot and story, 99% finished. No pages started or laid out, but it would be an ongoing series. So there you have it, guys. I apologize if I rambled a lot. I hope you enjoyed the artwork. Let me go back to my feed, see if I have any questions waiting for me. But again, you can, I'll leave this up for a little bit. You can go on my website, click on the Patreon link, and read some more of this. Check it out. Share it, whatever. I don't care. But I will be taking down my Patreon page, so please don't support it. I'm going to throw all my eggs into the Indiegogo basket at the end of the year, beginning of next year, and you can support me that way. So anyway, bloop, bloop, bloop. Here's the Shadow Sentry logo. It's a work in progress, but there you have it. All right, so let me stop sharing. Let me go back. See how many people are actually watching me. Here we go. Boom. Where did it go? There I am. All right. Cool. Well, there you have it, folks. That's the Shadow Sentry. I am excited about it. I'm excited to start drawing it. I was gonna draw it, like start drawing like today and do that for you guys, but I'm like, you know what? I have a lot of art already that I've worked on and that I could show and kind of get you excited that way. So I wanted to do that, get a little story to you, and the next time I see you, I will be working on like a promo image with the main characters, the heroes of Shadow Sentry, and then after that, I can go back and I can do some villains for you, and it's gonna be fun. So I did share an image with Edwin Boyette when I saw him in Hawaii, and he kind of helped me pick a good layout for you guys. So sorry, I'm not going to show you that yet. You got to tune in tomorrow. But yeah, hope you enjoyed. Please let me know if you have any comments or questions. If you missed it or just tuned in, you got to go back and watch it because I just went through who the Shadow Sentry is, introduced you, and gave you some brief flyby of all the characters and stuff, the story and everything. But again, go to my Patreon page. You can check out the dossier yourself, share it, and yeah. Is Mike on? Oh, no. That's something else. Like, Mike, you watching me? What's up, Mike? So anyway, special shout out to Mike. Thanks for having me on the other week. Sorry it's taking me so long to get on, but and thanks for all the subscribers. My subscribers shot up like 1,000%. I got a whole bunch of subscribers, so I'm up to 113. So hopefully it keeps growing. I'm excited about making comics and making comics great again. And ComicsGate community, I would love your support. And yeah, let's make some cool comics. And I'm excited. Cool. Alrighty, guys. Peace till tomorrow. Maybe we'll see. I got to get working on this other project I'm on, but if I can, I'll do some artwork for you tomorrow. All right, guys, take it easy. Happy Wednesday. Peace.